the the results were good enough so that the CIA maintained that funding for some 20 years. I mean, if they weren't getting results, they would not have funded this. So Russell's been a friend of mine for a long time, so I had a little exposure from that category. He also did some early work with Uri Geller.
Wow.
And in fact, he has a little video out of one of his talks, or DVD out of one of his talks, and the early experiments with Uri Geller are bonus material on there, and it is mind-blowing. You see, Uri Geller, I don't know if he's become a sort of a joke for making watches, work that don't work, and bending spoons. I guess that's the most famous thing, bending spoons.
Yeah.
And, it's been relegated again to that woo-woo category by many people. But if you saw what he was doing in these scientifically controlled experiments that Stanford Research did, it was not possible that he was doing those things. So, I've had a little minimal exposure. I'll tell you the thing that got me most plugged into the kind of reason I'd be interested in the crop circles. It goes back to being an actress, where in acting classes, you're always looking inside yourself for what's not on the surface, for who you are in deeper ways, who you might have been, who you chose to be, what your disowned selves are all about. It's what you get to in therapy. So this is, not in the exact kind of appearance reality that most people are functioning in. This went below the surface. Then the human potential movement came along, because I go way back, and that was a vast, shift. I guess that came out of the 60s, the psychedelic era, where all of these therapeutic modalities came along and all of these ways to access alternative information. And then at that time, or after, well, I guess it was during that time, I decided that the world could get better for me than pictures of flowers and soap commercials. I was very successful making commercials. My husband was not too thrilled about me going out, so to speak. I was supposed to take care of the kids, and but I could sneak out for a day at a time and do commercials. That wouldn't be too radical to do to the family. And so I became quite successful at that. But at some point after I had all of this introspection and all of this self-awareness was upon me, and personal growth, and looking at how we think and how we think poorly about reality,
right.
I thought, I just got to be able to do something for this world. And I just stopped acting, and I stopped painting, and I started looking around for how I could serve, and I started producing programs that had to do with the change of consciousness. And the crop circles came along then, just as another subject matter of the many things that my home was kind of a gathering place in L.A. For the underground, the radicals. And so I was, having kind of salon-like programs. Everybody who was on my mailing list felt very lucky to be there.
Yeah.
And I like to do things graciously, so it was always lovely to come to my house. And so when the crop circles came along, this was another interesting thing that was outside the box, that was not conventional reality, that was not just the world of appearances. And so that's how I started with the circles. But in fact, over the years, they've really taken over my interest. Of course, you always maintain your perspective on, how you need to self-develop and how you need to wake up as an individual. But the world is in such bad shape.
Yes.
And it's in bad shape fundamentally because it has the wrong idea of what humanity is all about. I mean, we've got the idea that the greatest value is to have the most money, which is a lovely thing to have, but it's terrible as the definer of a value system, because then you get a dog-eat-dog world where the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, and it can't lead to integration and wholeness. It takes you out of that. It goes in. It becomes very divisive after a period of time when it was very good to build us up industrially and a whole industrial revolution. Go back to that track. Very good science, very good. But gradually that really became dysfunctional as the mechanism to run the world. And we've just got to get back somehow to a more holistic, more compassionate way to run the world rather than financial way to run the world. And the circles, it seemed to me, were, of all the things I knew about, were the things that could really shift our fundamental worldview of who we think we are as the only intelligence in the universe, with this kind of sense of smug superiority. Well, if we knew there was other intelligence, it would humble us. We would have to take our place in a much larger belief system or perspective of how we relate to everything else, which would be tremendous for us. Right now we have nothing to relate to but ourselves, and so we're turned on each other and we're abusing the earth. But when our eyes are outward and we know we have relationship with other intelligent life, it will gradually filter in, or maybe even not so gradually, maybe quickly filter in, to shifting our sense of belonging in the universe, how we operate. And so this is why, God, this is a long answer, I think,
it's a beautiful answer.
Little setup, but indeed, we're full circle here. This is really why this crop circle thing has really come to kind of predominate in my body of interest here. And when you're trying to communicate about something, what do? You make a movie.
Yeah.
So I got into making movies about the crop circles. So the current one is What on Earth? That's actually the actual title, and the kind of subtitle is Inside the Crop Circle Mystery. And people love this movie, fortunately. I didn't, in some way, fools rush in where angels fear to tread. I knew the other side of the camera. I thought, I can do that. I can make a movie. Oh, dear. Later. Oh, dear.
Yeah.
But I did, But, it took a lot of learning and a lot of, I'm still at the computer 24/7 now. So to really finish the story, in some ways, making the movie was the easy part.
Yes.
It out there is much harder. It's business. I don't know anything about business. Well, I learned,
Yeah.
And it's a different head. I'm a very creative person. I like to put new ideas together. I like to see through the illusion. Well, I got to sit there with numbers and spreadsheets. And, oh, dear. In fact, if anybody's listening who wants to be my webmaster, you have to hire me. I need the best webmaster I had was 16 years old, but he had to go back to high school. So. Find me a kid. I need a really sharp person to do these. It's not even that complicated, but
I know.
I need help.
Yeah. Well, Suzanne, that is a beautiful answer to that question, and it fits perfectly into the evolving consciousness and ideas that I've come to conclude based on looking into my own consciousness, the external world, everything I've learned from books, authors, and ideas, and my own forays into exploring the nature of the mind. And my friends, the younger generations also too, are being ingrained with this information that you're sharing with us today. It seems like we're reaching a critical mass. There is a great hope that and necessity that has come from the environmental and mental degradation of our systems. And it's just like I can use the metaphor of pregnancy, that of course it's going to be a little painful, but then you give birth to something beautiful. And I think that's where we are. We're at the cusp of a new renaissance, and I want to thank you for putting your neck out there to help move the movement, so to speak.
And it's nice to talk to you because I know you understand these things, and it's funny, there are some people I talk to on radio shows, and they have their list of questions, and they don't really, it doesn't land what I've said. I mean, they're very nice and polite, but I know we're on the same wavelength, and we're, handling the same ball here, so back and forth, so that's very nice.
So that's Suzanne Taylor. She is fantastic. We had a wonderful interview and a really great time. We're going to take a really short break right now with a station identification break and a couple ads in here to promote our community and beyond, right here on UFR.
Tune into Radio New America every week to count down CKDU's Top 30. Radio New America airs Mondays from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. on CKDU 88.1 FM or online at ckdu.ca.
This is Xena, warrior princess. I'm fighting the forces of evil right now. Hey-ya! But when I'm done, I'm heading for the Anchor Archive Zine Library. It's where I go to browse and borrow zines. Hiya! Or make new ones. I have many skills. The Anchor Archive Zine Library is in the Robert Street Social Center at 5684 Robert Street and open Tuesdays and Sundays. Check out their 3,000 zines or come to a cataloging party. Visit the Anchor Archive website at robertstreet.org.
Do you have a yard you would like to garden, but just don't have the time? Do you live in an apartment and would like to have land to grow your own vegetables? Halifax Landshare partners those who want to garden with those who have the land but can't maintain a garden on their own. Landshare is free and provides access to a map and a list of willing volunteers and locations. Visit www.halifaxlandshare.ca for more information and to register your property. This summer, make new friends and enjoy fresh organic vegetables right from your doorstep.
Need your local sports fix? Get it from Halifax's top sports news authority, Bill McLean, every Tuesday morning from 10:30 to 12, right here on CKDU 88.1 FM. It's the Bill McLean Sports Show. Let's go.
Mamma mia! You're listening to CKDU 88.1 FM. Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Welcome back to the Unified Field. I'm your host, Mr. Justin Brown, and you're listening to Atlantic Canada's only paranormal radio broadcast right here. And this is the episode of the Suzanne Taylor interview, where we talk about crop circles and the latest happenings therein. And you just heard Husband and Knife, local act here from Halifax, who I really, really love. There's a lot of fans out there. I just picked up this vinyl about last month from local Video Difference. Yay, Video Difference. Go, go, go. Your source for all kinds of amazing movies. A whole room, a whole floor dedicated to documentaries pretty much. So rock and roll forever, you guys. All right, let's get back into this Suzanne Taylor interview here on the Unified Field.
Justin, it's nice to talk to you because I know you understand these things. And it's funny, there are some people I talk to on radio shows and they have their list of questions. They don't really... You know, it doesn't land what I've said. I mean, they're very nice and polite, but I know we're on the same wavelength and we're, handling the same ball here, so back and forth. So that's very nice.
Yeah, it is nice. And it's like that scene in your movie What on Earth where the gentleman is in your home, I believe, and he's talking about how science was going in one direction at one point and spirituality was going the other, and now it's all coming back and meeting back at the middle. Everything's circular and cyclical. And that's exactly what we're talking about right now, like with the
Justin, God, I'm calling you the wrong name. It's too early in the morning in L.A. It's actually not in my home. The whole film was shot in England.
Oh, it was? Great. Okay, I'm sorry. But yeah, that whole idea of circular and cyclical evolutions
right.
with the planet.
That was a much more dimensional story, and of course in a movie you can't really, you have to cut.
Mm-hmm.
you have to pick and choose. But his whole explanation of how we're coming back to oneness through the science